Hello everybody, Manithral here, and welcome to the weekly update video for RS3. Now this week we have the Blooming Burrow returns, so we have our Easter event as well going on this week. Now the month ahead, normally, it gets released at the beginning of the month, so it will still be coming out this week. They did say they plan on releasing it on Wednesday, April 1st, and they mean seriously. So that's what they're going to be going to. There was no blog that they mentioned last week. I checked. I didn't see any blogs. Apparently, there was just more of a discussion on Discord, a little bit about Dungeoneering Reward Shop item pricing. So far, that's actually kind of it. That's about it there. There is a change highlight that they actually want to mark here right up top. And that is Ivar King of Bones unique drops are now all free to play. So this includes the Bone Crusher Maul, Magic Skull Mass, and the Colossal Bones times 100, 1 per kill, and this pet. So that's something to keep in mind. They also did a lot of streaming, and this is probably majorly why, but they did streaming last week on Haven Height and going over doing some rune skill and chill. JMod's reply to discussions worth highlighting or not covered and above. Mod Luma was talking about honey badgers, rally bosses, ramen cameras, Anvil LODing to improve performance, Anvil the Phoenix D&D pet, and ramen again, how to display the edge of the world. So that's some stuff coming up here. But there's also a big heads up for next week, as the update won't be coming out on April 6th. April 6th is a holiday, is the Easter bank holiday, so it'll be coming out Tuesday, April 7th. So don't expect a video on Monday because it will be on, indeed, Tuesday. But the Blooming Burrow event is out today, and it's going to be going through April 20th. So you can go and get your Easter festivities on. There's the boat races, the mine chocolate to craft delicious eggs, busy bees, whole bunch of types of activities. There's even a new quest called the Corporate Egg Spinach. So it's supposed to be like a bunny spy catcher outfit that you can actually unlock through doing this. And as you can see right here, there is all types of extraction or egg extraction activities that you can do. So this year, there's also seasonal hubs. This year, the seasonal hubs, they made a pass on improving their flow in line with the road to restoration. So now you should be able to pop in, complete the quest, grab your rewards at your own pace. It's kind of how it was last year, too, to be perfectly honest. But there is some information. Below is a list of changes from the previous years. So here is the changes that took place from last year to this year. The Egg Hunter's Horde has been merged with the Grand Eggs Change. You won't need to collect egg points anymore, just spring tokens. All rewards from Horde have been moved over. Spring token accruement has been increased across the board, and prices on most items in the Grand Eggs Change have been reduced significantly. So it's more for fun now. Spring tokens can now be additionally earned while skilling outside the hub during the event dates. Carrot boat races will now run every 30 minutes to give players more opportunity to participate. Gummy surprise eggs can now be purchased by all types of players, member, free to play, and Ironman. These eggs will now cost 12k tokens and give 3 items from the table. Items in the Gummy Surprise Egg have been updated to remove items that are planned to be removed from the game by the end of the year, or due to the recent Dailyscape changes such as Proteans, reward enhancers, and unstable air runes. Skilling supplies such as charms, seeds, essence, planks have been added to the table for member players. Free-to-play or members on free-to-play worlds will have a pool only of only free-to-play items. So if you're a member, make sure you do this on a member's world, or else you will get penalized a little bit. Iron Man drop table is the same as free-to-play with the addition of untradeable box of clue scrolls. And there's an I will come back to this, but there is another Easter thing before we go to the toggable thing. There is the Easter Marketplace Edition. So this is going to be going on until April 12th. You can, as you can see here is the outfit that you can get. But you get the Springtime Dungarees, Natural, Pastel, Daisy, Chocolate, Carrot, Blooming, Bunny Ears, Egg Smasher outfit, Smasher Hammer, Flower Farmer bundle, Yoke Breaker outfit, and the Yoke Breaker mace. So it's just a bunch of different types of cosmetic outfits. If you want to check them out, by all means. The overall price is the only one that's kind of expensive is the Flower Farmer bundle, which is a $540 for members and $600 for free to play. All the rest are mostly under $100. The Yoke Breaker outfit is also higher, but that's a full outfit too, so something to keep in mind. The additional cosmetic toggle option. So people, they're expanding the toggle settings to hide other familiar and conjured spirit customizations. So you'll no longer have to see what some, if you're not a fan of like the holiday cover-ups or maybe the familiars, like some of the marketplace ones can be kind of gargantuan and kind of like annoying. Well, now you can see just the regular familiars and stuff like that, followers, instead of seeing all the extra that you can with everything else. Patch notes, there's actually quite a bit, so we're going to get right into that now. We have the hot fixes. Fix an issue that prevented players from receiving Phoenix Eggling pets after completing the D&D encounter. Fix an issue where birdhouses were not tracking seeds when used from the inventory. Fix an issue that caused Skeka's Hypno Wand to not function correctly in the new Big Game Hunter encounters. Fix an issue that blocked players from placing new traps and setting up birdhouses in Haven Heights. Fix transported by signs as a porter at the fish farm now contributes to fish farm achievements. Fix an issue causing scan clues to have a -6 radius. Devotion now works with the sanguine crawlers. Cats now only eat raw fish and fish. Fix an issue with round 1 task not completing after all patrons were given beer. Resolved an issue with the silver quill not despawning on a kill, resulting in another one spawning on top of it. Haven Heights, the magic butterfly net has been added to Fox Hunter's supply box in the Hollow Hill Cave. The required amount of rope for traps for the Chinchompa encounters has been lowered from 2 to 1. Moths spawned in the hollow trees during the Chinchompa encounters have been increased in size. Moths spawned from the hollow trees in Chinchompa encounters now give 2 moths instead of 1 on a successful catch. Moths spawned from the hollow trees during the Chinchompa encounters have had their movement and speed slowed down to adjust to make them easier to catch, so they're not such a pain. Burned tall grass during the Chinchompa encounters now regrows after 18 seconds. They have made some mechanical changes to the Haven Heights boss fights. So first up is Ivar, King of Bones. Boss timer now starts as soon as Ivar spawns. Reduce the time for his initial attack delay from 6 seconds to 3.6 to allow the fight to feel more fluid. Ivar now uses special attacks in random rotation rather than performing them in a set order. This allows lower level players to hone their abilities through reactive gameplay rather than learning fixed rotations. Dialogue for Ivar's special attack will now appear in the chat. Ivar will now perform dialogue before his ranged and melee attacks. In combination with the above, this provides an audio cue for which special attack will occur. The Conch Blast projectile will appear earlier, giving you more time to visibly react to the attack. Telegraphing for his ranged and magic special attacks have been modified to more accurately reflect the duration of the attack. Silver Quill, the Dreadhog, boss timer now starts as soon as Silver Quill spawns. Damage over time effects are now cleared when Silver Quill phases to prevent bleeds from reflecting against the player when phasing. Blood bombs now use the square telegraphing system to better reinforce that they are an area of effective attack. The Bloodhog attack now fires projectiles from minions to the Bloodhog, so you can clearly identify when Silver Quill has been healed. The info boxes for the Silver Quill encounter have now better respect for your info box location settings. When receiving now back to the normal stuff here. When receiving a unique drop from Silver Quill or Ivar, the broadcast message would be sent twice instead of once. Fix an issue with the portals and War's Retreat and correct images for Ivar, King of Bones, and Silver Quill the Dreadhog. Fix Colossal Bones. They were not operating like other bones. Upon Burrow, they were not getting counted as a daily challenge. Could not roll for Holy Shards or the skill pad. Ivar, King of Bones, Colossal Bone Drop is no longer capped at 100. They are just now 100% Death Drop. They continued not to work with Bone Crusher, however. Just a reminder. Ivar, King of Bones, unique drops are now all free to play. This includes the Bone Crusher Maul, Magic Skull Mask, Colossal Bones, and Pet Drop. Ivar, King of Bones, Maul, and Mass drops have had their drop rates increased, and their high values have been increased to give them a higher floor price. Silver Silver and Sanguine Spines drops will no longer show up as adventure log. Replace Grimy Manithral with Grimy Guam from Ivar's drop tables on free-to-play worlds, since Manithral is members-only item. The Hill Giant, its death animation was fixed to stop it cutting off prematurely when slain. When the Wick Flower patch now appears in the remote farm interface. Added a post-quest achievement for the Hearts of the Sanguine called A Silver of Silver Hope, or helps the Sanguine go down. Weird. The Havenhithe Canoe Station skill guide entry is no longer a green skirt. Fix an issue preventing players from continuing Visions of Havenhithe quests if they exited the final cutscene early. The Elegant Parasol now disappears correctly when performing various skilling actions. Banker Nathan now allows you to access the usual banking options when talking to him after completing Trader Woes. Adjusted the size of click boxes in the fish farm to be easier to use. Banker Nathan will no longer turn when you speak to him. A placeholder map that appeared southeast of Sophenham has now been reverted. The Spirit Wolf title now says unlock instead of buy. Oof. Added a post-quest achievement for the Hermit Permits called Hello, I Like Money. Updated the cost of bones. The bones will now be worth more to certain NPC or trader NPCs. Added a right-click teleport to the Marigold Farm to Wendelwick Teleport. This is available to use after completing WizKid. Completing Finding Tally has been added to the requirement to the Research Director achievement. Demetrius, the Gardener, is now visible on free-to-play worlds. Fix an issue where some scrolls such as Killy's Equipment Upgrade Task List had the title and contents swapped around. The tailoring map icon now lists all the armors which can be tailored. Dilapidated canoe stations can now be fixed with planks from the plank box. The Hollow Hill cave entrance can no longer be accessed from atop the excavation site in the mountain. Haven Silver Ore now works with the Signs of the Porter. Fix an issue with the Masterwork and Starbloom armor being listed twice in the crafting skill guide. Apex Sinew can now be correctly cooked at level 90 cooking. Upgraded the destroy message for Celine's lessons to now mention the book is reclaimable from Raz. Sanguine crawlers have had their combat level updated to be more reflective of their stats. The honey badger familiar model has been reverted. Fish farm achievement maximum population. Oof, that sounds weird. Now triggers consistently. The stools in the balcony of the Wendell Taylor building can now be sat on. Can no longer spam create loots during the loot of love task. Players can catch swordfish at the fish farm with barehanded fishing enabled. Added 2 mini obelisks to Haven Height. Added option to discard bird meat to the groundskeeper dialogue. Hunter urns now work with bird houses. The click box for the log trap in the Chinchampa's encounter has been reduced. The clockwork box traps now reset their fall timer on catching a new creature. The withdrawal limit for the stackable items in the Fox hunting supplies box in Hollow Hill have been fixed. Items will no longer drop to the floor when adding them to Fox's hunting supply box if the box is nearly full. Resolved an issue that sometimes caused the giant carnivorous Chinchampa to get stuck with the environment in the big game hunter encounter. General, finally. There is a dev note here. It says, in order to lean the core of Magic a little closer to Critical Strike identity, they're baking some extra effects into the Wild Magic and Asphyxiate. The Asphyxiate is buff essentially acts as a buff for all players without the Tumekins or Splendid gear. Adding some extra value to Asphyxiate and solidifying the Critical Strike identity. The wild magic buff simply adds some of the more of the identity to the style while adding a bit of power back to the magic throughout. But Asphyxiate has had its base magic damage increased from 120 to 130. Tumekins Resplendent's Asphyxiate ratio has been adjusted and remains 624% for its full cast. Channeling a full Asphyxiate now grants Channel and Might for 3.6. This grants 15% critical strike damage for 3.6 seconds. Channeling the Asphyxiate with the Tumekins Resplendence set grants Channel Might for 9 seconds unchanged. This grants 35% critical strike damage during the 9 seconds unchanged. Wild Magic now has a 20% critical strike damage and a plus 10% critical strike chance. The Equilibrium perk can now be obtained at rank 1 and 2 for manufactured components, with access to the lower ranks of these perks now being more obtainable. They have rebalanced the scaling to be 6% plus 2% per rank. So you got 8%, 10%, 12%, and 14% beyond the 6%. Fixed an issue that prevented locators from being created due to divine locations being removed from the game. The following locators can now be crafted from different ingredients: inferior, poor, good, and superior. They also removed references to the Wilderness Flash events from the Infernal Puzzle box. And they removed a reference to the Rune Goldberg machine in the Rune Crafting Skill Guide for the Skill Mastery perk description. Next, we head into the community. Up first, we have the Anya, and they are depicting, I'm assuming, what is their character, or maybe no. Maybe that is the character from Haven Height. But yeah, Anya is just trying to help. Ask NY Channel. NY Channel is the artist. And then we have a bit more of a realistic cartoon image here from Ninth Cloud, the Fremennik folks and their relationship with the Moon Clan. And then we have some Scaper screenshots. Up first is Moody looking over Haven Height. And Salty RS is checking out the wilderness near Haven Height. And then we have the Pink Skirt player events, which don't forget to check. I really always encourage us check the in-game calendar because you will see 10 times more events than you will here. And they also are a fantastic way to learn different types of skills, mostly bossing, but also sometimes they do mini games such as Stealing Creation and all kinds of some fun stuff. So do check it out. That'll be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later, guys.